Go
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fellowship of the Binge. We're in the third week of reviewing Traitors India. I'm Praapti and this is Prerna, and we've
Hello.
embarked on our first podcast of hopefully many. And Traitors India is the show that we're talking about because we love talking about reality TV and discussing it nauseating lengths. And this is
Yeah.
our
And I think
attempt
in
to.
particular, Traitors India, because if you followed us so far and you followed our journey, we are obsessed with this show. So, yeah, I think now that, the show is deep into itself, let's just get into it because I have so many things to talk about and we don't want this to be a 3 hour podcast because it absolutely can be. So, we should
But
just,
before we get into it, we're going to tell all of our viewers to like, share, and subscribe
yes,
because
please do
now
that.
we understand why people say that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It matters to us. So please do that.
Yes, and on that note, we will get into our no spoiler overall review of the Traitors episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah. Wow. I, what do I say about this that hasn't been said, but also needs to be said is that this is a bonkers show and I absolutely loved this set of episodes. Just brought everything. Just it brought all the chaos to the
Yes.
fore. It had big moves by both sides. It just brought it. Like these are my favorite lot of episodes so far. I think it makes the previous episodes look pale because now the people who are left know how to bring the drama, know how to bring the strategy. Just the creme de la creme is left and they can bring it, and we are here for it. And I loved it. I was just watching with my, like, all agog with my eyes wide at the edge of my sofa because
Exactly.
I just couldn't stop. And we were texting each other and we were trying
That's
not
like
to spoil things for each other while we were texting. And I was literally vibrating with trying to stop myself from texting you. But I loved it. What did you think?
100% agreed. This set of episodes did not disappoint. I
Yeah.
remember we ended our previous episode by saying, we're expecting some serious intensity of the
Yeah.
gameplay to come into this set of episodes. And
Yeah.
man, they brought the intensity. They did not
Yay.
disappoint. It was, you're right, edge of the seat drama. Who would have
Oh,
thunk? From
I
you and
know.
me being skeptical but hopeful for
Yeah.
Traitors India to
Yeah.
us saying edge of the seat stuff. And I'm not even exaggerating.
No.
I was laughing out loud.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
I couldn't stop gleaming. I
I
had so
know.
much fun watching these episodes. And episode 7 was, I think, my favorite episode of the season. The only thing I don't
Nice.
agree with you is that it makes the previous episodes look pale. I think it was a really nice build up until
Hmm.
we got here and we've been
Sure.
served, while we've been talking about it being unexpected. We
Yeah.
were expecting intensity. It brought intensity. It did not disappoint. And I am
Yeah.
super happy that this
Yeah.
is Traitors India season 1 doing really, really well.
I know. I don't think I can differentiate between the episodes because it's just like I understand the idea of Prime bunging 3 episodes together. I feel like all of these episodes kind of work as a set. And I think I was on the edgiest of my seat, and that's not a thing, but whatever. I was I was on tenterhooks all throughout episode 8 the most, I think, but that doesn't take away from the other 2 episodes. They
Yep.
are equally good, equally excellent. And I think what I meant was that maybe because I was slightly lower on the previous lot, like the 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
than you were, that
Yeah.
I just felt like I'm feeling higher on this
The
than
jump is
maybe.
higher. Mm.
Yeah, the jump is higher, so I think maybe I'm feeling that a little bit more, but
I
i'm
feel like
i'm
we'll
here
take it.
for it. I cannot wait for the finale. I am
But Prerna, you know what
dying.
I just thought? You know what I just thought? When you
What?
talked about the episodes being good as sets, it makes for, so 3 hours is three
Yeah.
episodes roughly,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a movie trilogy. So every week
Yeah.
we're getting a 3 hour long movie, and it's nice.
Yeah.
And we've just
Give me
gone through a
more,
trilogy. Yeah,
please.
give me more
And we're
kind of.
going to get more. We have a renewal. Yay! So
So
this will
so
continue, guys. Like this
yeah,
very nerdy breakdown of a very fun and kind of bonkers game show. Yeah, will continue, but we will take it as seriously as possible.
yeah.
I
Or
mean,
not.
people make
I mean, yeah.
yeah, but we take the strategy seriously, I would think.
Oh, 100%. That's
We
why we're
do.
here.
Yeah, and we gamed
So
it. We did.
totally did,
Yeah.
totally did. We're not going to go into spoilers just yet
No.
because,
Yeah.
in the context of overviews, I feel like this was the resurgence of the innocents. It
Yes.
was super fun. Easily, like we've said, easily our favorite set of episodes. I'm now
Yeah.
generalizing because we're both on the same page and there's no surprise
Yeah.
there.
No. Yeah.
Even though the murders and eliminations on Circle of Shock were predictable,
Yeah.
they were very entertaining,
Yeah.
which is something. We did call it, but I don't think you and I expected it to be this wild.
No. We didn't.
So, when it's something predictable and delivers despite being predictable, it's a winner.
But that's the thing about it. Like you're right that it is predictable in the sense that we thought that this would be the best move, but having said that, like this group of people has been so unpredictable that any predictability is just thrown out of the window. So if they do
That's
something
true.
predictable, you're just like, oh, they did that, really? Oh,
Yeah.
good move. We thought they would do this, but we didn't expect them to actually go through with it
Yeah.
because they just changed their mind at any point. uh,
That's a good point because we're such traitors nerds that we have so
Yeah,
much context, unlike most of the audience, I would imagine, for Traitors of
yeah,
India.
yeah,
Uh, um, and I think what we are really enjoying is the deviation of the Indian traitors from the global traitors context. And I've created like a list of a few observations that I'd like to share
yeah,
that, bring in, like, while they're true to the spirit of the traitors game and the seasons that we see across the globe from
yeah,
different countries, India has brought its own spin and it's totally working.
yeah, yeah.
So, one of the things I really liked, and I know this is something you have strong opinions about, is the games. The
I
deviations in the
love the
games.
games. Oh my
Yes,
god. Yes.
yes.
That was one of the things that I made a note of because I cannot believe. Usually, like for context, for people who haven't seen the other traders, they just copy the games. So if a UK season has done one of the games, then the US season will probably do the same game. And
And then
it's just
Australia
it's
will
just
probably do the same game.
and they're
Or
mostly physical games. They're not really social games.
exactly.
Very few of them are social games. Some of them are like, oh, we will throw bugs on you for like 20 minutes and things like that. Like they're mostly like that. Or you have to climb up this hill and carry these pieces up and things. Very, very survivor-esque games. But India has just swerved and just focused on the social game as a game in a
Absolutely.
physical gameplay, and it's just I'm loving it.
Love it. Yeah.
Kudos to whoever has designed this. Kudos to whoever is modifying this show for Prime.
Keeping the essence true to the
Yeah,
traitors, bringing in all the social elements, applying it to the Indian context of I'm not going to have the ability to hike up a hill and down a hill
yeah,
to make the
yeah,
money. So let's just make steps and make it a
yeah,
mind game between two opponents.
yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Amazing.
Brilliant
I
stuff.
just, please, guys, if like people around the world are watching this show, take notes because
Yeah.
it is that's one of the things that I have never understood about the games, and we've talked about this before. That I don't see why they should be in a social game like Traitors, and now they make sense. Like
We're actually, yeah,
these
we're going to
pit
make a
people
shot
against each
where
other.
we're going to make a short where Prerna is saying these games are boring, and I'm backing that to the hilt.
Yeah,
And Traitors India has delivered. The other
yeah,
thing that I really liked was them breaking away from the standard edit chops, where typically
right.
you
Okay.
have, you're ending an episode with the
Yeah,
traitors turret having a discussion of
yeah,
who we could have possibly murdered,
yeah.
and starting our next episode in the morning with who has
The
actually died
breakfast.
and
Yeah,
doesn't show
yeah,
up at breakfast,
yeah,
to having the circle of shock in the evening. And the elimination after the circle of Shrek, and then the traitors meet again and that cycle, right? They have broken away from that in a few episodes just to keep the suspense because the circle of Shrek has been exciting and we've been left at a cliffhanger. I'm not going to
Yeah.
give spoilers, don't worry. This is a spoiler free overview. But I love that they've broken from what is expected
Yeah.
because there is a chunk of very juicy stuff that we can expect at the
Oh my
beginning of
god.
the next episode.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, breakfast, the order in which people arrive, it's usually the last three people who arrive at breakfast are the ones that are probably going to get
Yeah.
murdered in
Yeah.
across the world, across seasons. And I used to
Yeah.
wonder why people and players haven't caught on to the fact that this
Yeah.
person and this person has never been amongst those last three.
That's three. Yeah.
For whatever reason, someone's caught on, clocked it, and now doesn't do that with the traitor. So sometimes
Yeah.
it played out slightly badly for viewing because then if you have only two and one of them is a traitor, you know who's not coming. But I'll take it because at least during the game, it's not
Yeah.
giving hints or undue hints into that.
And it's fine because this crew is so entertaining, like this cast, sorry, is so entertaining, is that whatever reactions they're having at breakfast are entertaining enough that I don't need that big suspense at the end.
That's right.
It's fine.
That's right. It's
You
great.
know, they
So it
are they
works
are
perfectly.
dramatic enough. They enter
Yeah.
rooms dramatically, they leave rooms dramatically, they sit dramatically in a room together at
In
opposite
silence.
corners, in silence, in dead silence, dead silence. So there's enough drama within the breakfast room, unlike other seasons of Traitors. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and the last spectacular deviation or slash solid inspiration from Global Traitors is
Yeah.
the adaptation of the Death March, Death Procession game. It was beautifully done. It's
Oh
one of
my
my
god,
most favorite
it was
games
so
that play out
creepy.
during the Traitors and
Yeah.
other sections. And we brought the creep, we brought the eerie, we brought the
Yeah.
morose drama.
Yeah.
It was scary, it was
Yeah.
weird, it was
It was
all the
really
things you
weird.
wanted it
Yeah.
to be. It
Yeah.
was so fun. I can't
The
believe
with
I'm
the
talking
women
like this
and
about
walking
it.
through the women, the bunch of women
Right.
who were
It worked. All
crying.
of it.
My god.
It worked perfectly. I was so
Yeah.
curious to see how that would play out, and it did not disappoint. And the
Yeah.
last was the shout out to the snuffing out trustworthy player game. Just a beautiful tying of the loop,
Amazing.
just beautifully closing
Just
the loop.
chef's kiss.
How beautifully it was done. And just again, no need for
Mind
having
game.
physical aspects
It's all a
being brought
mind
into the
game.
game. It's the social sensibilities
Social mind game.
that are
Yeah.
going to tweak and
Yeah.
upregulate or downregulate the awesomeness
Yeah.
of
I
that
think I've
moment
only
and in
seen
that
one
game.
other Traitor season where they used this thing where there was a fire that was supposed to be lit in front of people. I think it was New Zealand Traitors, I can't remember, which was
I feel
also
like, yeah,
it caused a lot of issues
drama.
between people
Yes,
because they were like, oh, why didn't you save me and why did you save this person and all of that. So I was expecting that to
I
be when
was
they when
expecting
they
drama.
when they had this same game. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll play out like that, like who would you want to save or something like that. But it was absolutely like, I love the you're absolutely right, like it just came, all the way around, and I love that about it. I thought it was genius. Well done, I think, to
Yeah,
the people who are producing this show and who have created the games. And obviously everybody brings the drama, but it also needs to have some level of
the platform
substance,
for it
right?
to come out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think
exactly.
with that, enough with being spoiler free, but
Yeah,
absolutely loving these set of Traitor episodes that have currently come out. This is our warning to pause and come back after you watch
yeah.
the episodes because
Guys,
now we're going to
seriously, if you're
go
not
into
watching this show, what are you even doing in life? I mean, now there are like 9 episodes. You can binge it over the weekend. There's a weekend, coming up, and just binge it. And it's worth it. Trust us.
because I'm sure the finale is going to be worthy of wrapping up this entire crazy season, and we're
Bonkers.
down for it. So, this is your final warning. This is where you pause if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
And diving straight into our spoiler filled discussion, Prerna, take it away.
I don't even know where to start because so many things happened in these episodes, but our favorite traitor has gone. Although I'm
Yes.
no longer sure, like I said, I was on the fence about her, and I feel like she made some very bad moves. And I think we'll keep the spoiler free a bit short this time, because we'll talk about our highlights a little bit more. I feel like a lot of things will get covered in our highlights. You have three or four, I have three or four highlights, and I think we'll mix and match and we'll talk about it all. But I think some of the things that we might not get to talk about is like Janvi leaving
Sad
and
times.
reading her tarot, and knowing that Pura was a traitor. I was like, oh, you say
Too
something. Now
too little, too late.
too
Why were
late.
you not
Exactly.
reading his tarot before, or your own tarot before,
Oh
or
no.
someone else's tarot before?
I
What was
found that
happening there?
to be so funny.
In the end, Purav was so mean. After जानवी जी ना मुझे बहुत बुरा लग रहा है कि वो अभी गई हैं. मुझे लगता है उनको पहले चले जाना चाहिए था. Super
But they've
mean.
all been really mean about
They
Janvi,
have
so
been super
it's
mean.
been
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
mean. It's a little
yeah.
bit like, I don't know if it edges into bullying, but
It does.
it does edge into bullying. But I feel like she was also really annoying to live with.
But you know what? She grew on me. She started making so much sense at the like that logical
Yes. Yeah.
monologue at the circle of shock
Yeah.
automatically just put me in a space of okay, at least she gets the game, at least she's calling
Something.
people out and she's
Yeah.
almost being a good innocent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good innocent in the end, but at least she was trying and being
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll miss you. Rest in
We
peace, Janvi ji.
Oh my god. Janvi ji, you brought some kooky entertainment, and like we liked it. It was odd,
We loved
but
it.
we liked it. It was funny to see other people react to it. So another one is the straight man in the house has also gone. Anshula is now no longer in the house. I'm a bit sad about that, actually, because I
Yep.
feel like she was a quiet, unassuming player. But a lot of the people that she was around left, like the people who would have defended her, or the people who she could have relied on for votes, left. So she's kind of, they showed her wandering around the house by herself a lot. That's never a good thing
I'm
for this
really
game.
glad you brought up Anshula because I noticed that, she was always right there with her traitor theories. She just never crossed the finish
No.
line. And
Yeah.
she would have, only the traitor would fill
Yeah.
the prize pot. She would always come that close, but not finish the thought. All she had to
No.
do was finish the thought and she'd be
Yeah.
right there. But that being said, I think she did a decent defense at the Circle of Shock. It
She
was
did.
calm, composed,
Yeah.
it was
She was very
nonchalant, it was
calm through the
breezy.
whole thing.
She
Yeah.
knew she was going to go. So she wanted to make the most of it, despite knowing she like, okay, I'll take the 10 lakhs, I'll go.
Yeah.
Nicely done, classy, good gameplay, did pretty much all
Decent
she
gameplay.
could.
I would push a little back against the good gameplay. I
I
feel
agree
like,
with you.
having known about the game as well as she does, because she's clearly seen the other season, right? She's been talking about that and all of that, and within the game also she
Yeah.
knows what happens. So she I feel like she didn't play hard enough.
She didn't play hard enough.
Like,
I think she was
she
tippy
didn't play.
toeing and
She
being,
was
yeah,
just, either you play too safe, or you don't be a part of the wall. Like,
yeah,
you play hard, or you play like, like everybody's friend. So she was neither here nor there. She was not
yeah,
everybody's friend either. So either you were just, like Sudhanshu, who's everybody's friend. Everybody thinks he's an innocent, and he is. And he has his theories, might not be right, and but people definitely don't suspect him. So that is a way to get at least to the end. And she didn't play that part either. So she could have played that part, the part
yeah,
of the faithful, that the innocent that is friends with everybody,
yeah, yeah,
not Kaleshi, as somebody
yeah.
called somebody else. Kaleshan. Yeah, I think Urfi calls Janvi a Kaleshan. So guessing who does, but
But
actually it might be anybody at this point. Could be Apurva also, who knows? But
yeah,
but I don't think she played hard enough. But
yeah, she didn't play
you know,
hard. And she refused to accept Elnaaz's guilt.
yeah,
But then she was proper about it. She's like, look, I didn't see it coming,
No,
so
she was great. Like no, nothing on her.
nothing on
It
her.
was
Yeah,
fine. Like her defense was solid. I mean, she was really calm through the whole thing.
yeah.
She was, like I said, she was a straight man in the house. Like she was the person, who was kind of unfazed by all the chaos around her, which is admirable. I just feel like
And refreshing
because
given
she
the
had that, yeah, because she
people.
had that quality. I feel like she could have pushed a little bit. She's likable, so I feel like she could have
Yeah,
been better friends with the right people.
yeah.
um so, and I
She was
just
just like
feel
a
like,
leveled up version of Mahip, where they both had potential in the game,
yeah,
but kind of didn't unlock their superpowers somewhat,
yeah,
really make that meaty impact.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
doesn't have to be a loud, dramatic impact. It could just
no,
be,
yeah,
yeah, nice.
yeah.
Okay,
So I mean, those are the main ones, because I feel like neither of those things would have been on our highlights, so I felt
yeah,
like we should talk about them, because they are
good
major
call.
parts of the game that, that pieces have moved. They have
Yeah.
moved out of the game. I suspect the other person who leaves will be on one of on your highlights. So I will leave that. I will I will leave that to that. Should we go into our highlights right away?
Let's go into the highlights.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your third? I mean, there's no ranking, to
We're
be
not
honest. We
ranking
discussed this.
because
We're not ranking the highlights because they're all equally great. You just tell me what is your first one, and we'll talk it through.
Apurva is the elephant in the room, needs to be addressed, needs to be discussed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I think there are so many things about Apurva. She's been a big MVP across the trilogy,
Absolutely. She's
so
the
to
MVP
speak.
of this game.
Look, I loved her strategy. And I think the best way it came out was when
Yeah.
Jasmine was confronting her, and she's like, "That's my strategy." She's like, "Why are you constantly bluffing about the shield?" It's a great strategy to
It's
protect yourself. It
amazing.
was so lovely to watch that Jasmine is just clueless. And
She's
Apurva
so
is keeping her
clueless.
calm and giving it to her, saying, "Hey, as an innocent, I need to protect myself from murder. That
Yeah.
is my job.
That
If you're
was the
not thinking about
silliest.
it,
That is not my fault.
that's
That if
on
you're
you.
not playing the
That is
strategy
on you
in
because,
exactly.
and no wonder you're thinking, oh my God, why am I still alive? You're just going down the wrong path. Uh,
Yeah.
you have to protect
Jasmine is
yourself.
falling into that
Yeah,
classic trap of, oh, you could be a good traitor, so you are a traitor. That is
correct,
such a
correct.
classic trap that these innocents fall into. It's a
That's
pit.
true. It's a
So,
pit.
and she is
But
she is foolish enough to think that she keeps
yes,
calling herself
so
stupid, so I feel like I can call her stupid at this point,
that
because she
self-deprecation
is. I'm
is
sorry.
annoying. Yes, it's so
No,
unnecessary because she could pick up on things, but she is just too busy self-deprecating and not being confident that it doesn't come out. And she actually sometimes has something solid to say. However, this point and highlight is about Apurva. I'm
yes,
going to
let's talk
hijack it
about Apurva.
because
Yeah,
Apurva
amazing.
deserves a solid
Yeah,
amount of respect because she
yeah,
came well prepared. She came in with a
absolutely.
strategy. She
Yeah,
deployed her strategy
yeah,
fairly effectively so far.
yeah.
And the
She's been
only
a
thing going
very
against
strong
her,
addition, I think, to the fate, the innocence.
in a sense, the
Yeah,
only thing, and we've discussed this in our episodes previously, is that it's a disruptive game. It is not a regular game
yeah,
where everyone is playing to win with full focus and doing the
yeah,
best moves, and the one with the best moves wins. Unfortunately for Apurva, this is not that game. This is a disruptive game, and I think that's despite it being a disruptive game, she has created such a brilliant strategic field for herself, an engine for herself that despite the disruption, she has survived this far.
yeah.
Which is why I
I'm
want
shocked
to
by that.
highlight her
Yeah.
awesome thought
She,
process.
I
Yes, she's
mean, she is
dramatic
a
and
traitor
nonsensical.
hunter. She found a traitor on the first day. I mean, we forget that because it's been so many episodes ago,
Never.
but she found that
Yeah,
traitor on the first day, and she has made it this far. It's wild. Just
it
because
is
she
wild.
has managed to take all the chances given to her, she has bluffed where she
Correct.
could. She has thought it through. She's been like, okay,
She
we
has.
two people are playing this game, no one else is here playing this step swallow game, so I'm, you got the shield, but you tell people I got the
Take it.
shield, and we will
Yeah.
just fake a fight. We'll fake a loud argument inside कि तुम कैसे कर
Go
सकती
with
हो
a
and this and
bang.
that. Yeah,
So, an interesting thought that I just had was simply contrasting Anshula's game with Apurva's game. Anshula had all
Yeah.
the information and chops. All she had to do
Yeah.
was execute strategy like Apurva did. She didn't
Yeah.
have to start crying and picking fake fights with people
No.
at all.
Yeah.
Or get a tattoo that says chaos over here.
Does it really?
Yeah, how are you missing these?
I don't know. I'm just so fascinated by everything else that's happening. I
So,
don't know.
so
I'm missing that tattoo.
props to Apurva's strategy and Apurva's gameplay deserves a solid
Hat tip. Yeah.
hat, tip on the other hat to
Yeah.
how she has played the game.
Incredible. Let's talk a little bit about how she played in these sections, right? There's a major thing that happened right at the end. Like now all the eyes are on Apurva, and obviously she loses. She was the first one with all the mashals out, and she just like, just she's like, no one can do anything to me. This is what
Anything to me.
happens. You
Yeah.
want to give me power, and then she gives the dagger to Purav. And I was both admiring and also a little bit I was like, you just gave the dagger to a traitor. But but
But you know what? Apurva has the power to make Pura feel guilty.
yes,
Elnaaz
that is
could not do that
amazing.
to him
Yeah.
by being his teammate,
Yeah.
which Apurva has been able to do
Against his friend,
while
which,
being
yeah,
its top quality.
amazing.
Where suddenly you see that Pura has a heart, he's a human person, and he's saying things like, I can't look her in the eye. मुझे उसको
Yeah.
नजर मिला के नहीं बोला जा रहा है और मैं कैसे उसको डिच कर दूं.
Yeah.
It's truly tugging at him,
It
and it's
is.
making Purav a human person. That's what a Purva can do. The
She
power she
is
wields
amazing.
is
um I would be very sad to see her go at this point. I mean, I don't think people think she's a traitor. I just think that she's become a powerhouse that they just can't reconcile with anymore. So they are conflating what they think to be a traitor with, you know, her personality basically.
hey, she's
So
done a great
whatever
job.
happens at the end of this vote, I think where it ends basically. I don't know where it'll end, but Purva, if when Apurva goes and if Apurva goes, I think they should also clap for her. And I also think that she is, I don't know, like she would have deserved to win this game. She is incredible. I would watch her in so many other things.
Easily
I
MVP.
think her main mistake, though, and I think we can discuss this here very briefly. Let's do it very briefly because we will run out of time. But I think it's fighting with Urfi. I think if Urfi and Apurva were on a similar page or even on decentish terms, they didn't have to be chuddy buddies, but they could have just been on
Cordial.
decent terms. Yeah, enough to discuss things with each other. I feel like that was her major problem. Like her fighting with Urfi and Urfi being fairly strong on the social front in the game. I don't know whether Apurva didn't anticipate that or whatever, she didn't care. But I think she might have managed to bring Urfi a little more to her side and her minions along with her. She was like she's good at convincing people. I think she just her dialogue where she talks about herself is my favorite thing. Like she's just like, I brought strategy to this game. I brought it all. I gave it my all, and then you have to fly me business class because
Business.
because you made me stay in a house with Urfi. She is so funny.
She is quite a
She's a
blockbuster.
queen.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if both Urfi and Apurva are still alive because of the chaos between the two of them. Had they been,
Hmm.
see, now is when they're all realizing that little clique that we had talked about in our previous episode about Jannat, Jasmine,
Yeah.
Urfi, and
Yeah.
Apurva. It is not a visible clique, but I still believe it's a clique.
It
And
is.
somehow, and then Harsh comes with Urfi,
Yeah.
and now Apurva has
Comes with Purav. Yeah.
came with Sufi, like at that time with the
Sufi.
vote
Yeah.
bank, right?
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
solid vote bank. And Purav and Harsh Raftar with Urfi in the middle, with the access to the girls as a group, it's a huge, proper set of
Yeah.
votes. If that group had happened, I
Yeah.
feel like the strategy of murdering would have been very different because that would have been a very obvious, very big group. I
Yeah.
wonder if Urfi and Apurva are just acting to hate each other. I think
I
that's
think it's too
crazy
much at this
survival
point.
tactic.
I think they
It's too
just,
much. I
yeah,
agree. But I think that's the only reason they're both still alive in the game and
maybe.
not
Yeah.
murdered.
Traitors do like chaos,
If
so
they
who
were
knows?
together, if they were
Yeah.
together as a group, they'd be
They
too
would have
strong.
too
It's
strong.
too
Yeah.
strong.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So she
Yeah.
has alienated her to such an extent. She didn't have to be friends with her. She just had to be
Yeah.
cordial
Not like
enough
this.
to discuss something with her when needed in
But
secret,
like Jannat was
whatever.
the but Jannat is the link.
Jannat
Like
was
see
a
they
good link. If
they're
Jannat's
still they're
removed,
still voting
yeah,
in the same direction
yeah,
because Jannat is the floater.
yeah,
And it
that's true.
worked. It worked.
Yeah, I suppose Jannat was the
So
link. So yeah,
yeah. And it wasn't an
yeah,
issue really. Like it's not like they
yeah,
weren't talking because they were.
yeah.
Jannat was
So
very
that's true.
perceptive to what both said, and she had her own spine to assimilate information and create opinions.
Yeah,
So it was
definitely.
actually fairly constructive in that
Yeah,
sense, I
yeah,
feel.
makes sense actually. That's a good point. Jannat
Yeah,
was a bridge.
yeah,
So I mean, I will miss Apurva whenever she goes or
yep,
away from my TV screen. I will miss
yeah,
her genuinely.
yeah.
She's joy.
I feel like we should do a little slow clap for Apurva's gameplay just because
Yeah.
spectacular
Yes.
gameplay. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Kudos. Yeah.
On to the
So I
next.
think my highlight is going to be, I mean, it's a little related to it, but Purav doing the task under everybody's nose.
Obviously, that is also on my list, but go for it.
It was just breathtaking. Like, just first he couldn't find it, then he looked everywhere, then people came into the room and he did it under their nose, and perceptive people, not idiot people, like Sufi and Apurva, people who don't miss stuff at all. And then he did this under their nose and then walked with them, put the threw the thing in the pond. I was just like, it's 12, what is happening? And he threw the
Exactly.
thing in the pond, and then why he murdered Sufi. He murdered Sufi just while he was walking with him. I found that to be just the most ballsy thing I have seen in a long time. And I mean, I was kind of a little, I was being a little smug, to be honest. When Purav had to do this, I was like, you didn't do the task before, now you have to do a much more difficult task in front of everybody. Go
100%.
do it. Like,
Go do it.
पहले तो कुछ भी नहीं था वो वाला एक्स वाला टास्क, कोई भी, इतने सारे लोग थे
Yeah.
पहले तो, and you had to do it in the morning. Like, now you have 1 hour to do this insane task in front of everyone, and they all, he's like यहाँ पे ऐसे बैठे हैं जैसे गोवा में. I just found that so funny. But that was a true highlight. Like, him throwing the frame in the pool. I will think about that moment for a long time. It's a epic reality TV moment. Great way to murder someone. And also a very interesting way of doing the task in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Usually this does happen. There's a pause in chalice and you
Yeah.
have to give the
Yeah.
chalice to someone that we've seen before, and people also think this happened. It caused a lot of confusion in the house, and then he had to
Yeah.
play act, and he was like, "मैं ही मरूंगा," and
Great acting.
great acting, amazing. um but the fact that he did all this in front of all these people was just incredible. So kudos to Purav for
Yeah.
doing this, for
Yeah.
doing this task, and for recognizing that he is slipping in some places and he needs to up his game, which I feel like he has done. So kudos to Purav for this, for
Yeah.
accomplishing this behemoth of a task. Not easy by yourself. You're by yourself. You don't have a second traitor. It's crazy to do this by yourself. So well done. That
Yeah.
was my highlight.
So here's my take on this.
Okay.
I did not think Pura would be able to pull off the task for the
Yeah.
traitors to murder.
Yeah.
It came. I saw his face. He
Oh
looked
my god.
so nervous. He looked so uncomfortable. I think for a moment he missed Elnaaz from within. He was like,
He did.
"Oh my God, how will
Yeah.
I do this? Where is
ऐसे
Elnaaz?
क्यों किया
Because
यार,
तो ये
ऐसे
कर नहीं
क्यों
पाऊंगा,
किया?
वो ही करेगी."
Yeah.
Right? Like that was his face. He was acting super sus for so long. How was nobody clocking it? Like you
I have
said,
no idea.
Apurva and Sufi ke samne, given they
Yeah,
were drunk, whatever, he was
yeah,
just acting like a lunatic. It was so
yeah,
suspicious. Maybe it was
yeah.
just the
It
edit
dropped.
and you and I saw it, but they didn't. I don't know. But it was pulled off proper edge of the seat stuff. That whipping the frame
Oh my
into the water.
goodness.
And I'm like, surely someone's seen it. How have they not? How have they not
Yeah.
heard? पानी में
Heard
जाके
the
वो flaunt हो रहा है.
splash. Yeah.
What
I mean, they
just
were really
happened?
drunk clearly.
So
But yeah, इतनी जोर से
because
splash हुआ वो.
and the clock had reached like
Yeah,
12. So you have to do it before the night is over. In my
yeah,
head, 12 o'clock, night is over is the definition of the night for them.
yeah,
And I'm like, chalo, ye nahi hua, fail ho gaya. And they're all going, and his face, his demeanor, he was just losing his mind.
yeah. And they knew that something was happening, right? They suspected. They were like,
Everybody.
ये इतना
Yeah.
आसान तो नहीं हो सकता
Yeah.
है. कुछ ना
And
कुछ तो हो रहा है यहाँ पे.
and the others who are not drunk are not clocking this behavior. Okay, I'll give it to Sufi and Apurva. What were
Yeah.
the others doing?
Sitting around like they it was Goa.
In Goa. But yes, I agree. This was a point which was a worthy highlight.
Yeah.
I was not the biggest fan of Purav.
No.
I was rooting for Elnaaz, but I think he really provided entertainment. And you're right, he's had to pull up his socks. He's had his calls haven't worked. Let's just take another minute with Purav because
Yeah.
he did his blackmail.
Oh, is that
It
one of your
didn't work.
highlights? We can go
It's not.
right into that.
It's
Okay.
not because I just want to wrap it in because we
Yeah.
will not give it its own thing.
Yeah.
Apurva went in with the right intent this time
Yeah.
for a teammate, but this time it's just not worked out for him. And
No.
he did not see that coming and he had to
No.
adapt real quick. And I really like how he was in
Yeah.
this asmanjas of, oh my god, मैं क्या
Yeah.
करूं? And
Yeah.
almost
I
like
brought him in. I brought him
moral
in, and
dilemma.
I'm now gonna end his game. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, so it's like he's
crazy.
human. He has a heart. He cares about actual
Yeah.
people. He's
Yeah.
not as ruthless as we thought he was, and
No.
maybe the game has kind of settled in him finally. And now he's like, okay. And then Harsh did so well trying to convince Purav, saying, "Hey, it's just you. It's on you. You can tell her." And he's like, "नहीं मैं Apurva को कैसे ditch कर दूं? उसने मुझे dagger दिया है." The Purav I thought I knew would be like, "तूने मुझे dagger दिया, अब मैं तेरे को ही stab करूंगा."
Yeah. Yeah.
Is now thinking this through and saying, I shall not do that with Apurva
And
because
he
she's my
went
vote bank.
against his fellow traitor, the one he brought in, his friend,
Yeah, yeah,
for Apurva. I was
yes,
just gobsmacked by that.
yeah. So it makes for excellent TV, and I am not complaining.
Yeah.
And that is
No.
all
No.
I want to say. So well played, Purav. I'm so pleased as to how you pulled off that task. I did
I am
not.
rooting
I was
for
not going to
him.
put my money on you. Yeah. So I'm just happy to see what I saw. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. So let's get to your next highlight.
Right. So my next highlight actually is Jannat. We
Oh.
did talk about how she was a really useful link,
Yeah.
but this specific highlight is her telling Jasmine. I knew it was her, but I'm gonna let Anshula go
Yes.
so that another
There's no
traitor cannot be
recruitment. Yeah.
blackmailed and Harsh needs
Yeah.
to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I did not think that Jannat had that level of
Yeah.
strategic clarity.
I didn't
I
either.
was
I
so
feel like the
impressed.
edit has done her dirty because I feel like if she clearly had this, like she thought this through, that was a very smart play.
Yeah.
Nobody thought of
Beautifully
that.
played. I have not
Amazing.
seen it play out in previous seasons
No,
of other countries either. This
excellently
kind of
done.
thought
Yeah.
process कि मैं अंशुला की बलि चढ़ा दूंगी बट मुझे नहीं चाहिए कि एक और
एक और
ट्रेटर
blackmail
ब्लैकमेल
हो.
हो और फिर मेरी टीम जीत जाएगी. Like it was like a world of unicorns and rainbows for her, and in
Poor
that
girl.
moment I
Yeah.
felt for her. I did predict in the first episode that I thought she would go long. I thought it was coming from a place of she's an underdog, nobody will give her any credit.
Yeah.
It kind of played out like that, but
It
it's so
did.
unfortunate that she got thrown out in that moment where at that moment it was pivotal. And I think Harsh
She would have
and
been
this
so
guy
crucial.
got lucky. Harsh
Yeah.
and Purav have gotten lucky that Jannat was murdered
Yeah.
in that moment because that would have really changed the game. So
Yeah. It would
again,
have.
brilliant
Apurva says
strategy
it
by
on the
Jannat.
circle of Shak at the end. She's like, if Jannat was here, this would not be a problem. Harsh would be out. Because she had the power to convince you, Jasmine, and Urfi, So now that she's gone, you guys are scattered and not really listening to reason. So she was really
And I
pivotal, and we didn't.
and I'm not.
I'll be honest, I didn't give her any credit, and
Yeah,
I will, mea culpa, I guess. But well done, Jannat, as well.
yeah. And in that vein, I just want to say, Jasmine, what are you doing? You are so all over the place.
Oh my
You are
god.
being like a Janvi ji. You are just creating chaos when you have it. You sat
Yeah.
there with Urfi that entire whatever hours it must have been, or it seemed like, trying to
Yeah.
convince her. And now you're just stepping back and you're not, your ego is just coming in the way with Apurva. That's just, come on, man. Come on.
I don't understand what's happening with her.
Yeah,
It's so frustrating to watch, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
In fact, like that, we can talk about this as a highlight as well, because it was, I mean, I think we covered one of my highlights was that Purav playing him, getting the dagger from Apurva and playing his vote for Apurva instead of Harsh, voting for Harsh against him, against Harsh. So I think we've talked about that, so we can talk about what a what a crappy, awful game this girl is playing. I mean, if she makes it, and then I don't know, Sudhanshu and she, and who are the other remaining faithful? Urfi was so distracted by Love Island or whatever,
And
where she's
Nikita.
playing with Harsh, and Nikita, who is constantly wrong and so sure that she is right. They are never gonna clock Purab, and Purab will win. So they deserve to lose if they do this, honestly, because it's such a stupid thing. Can't even. I mean, she literally told her best friend in the house told her that if I go, it's Harsh.
It's
Make
a,
sure that you take Harsh down. It's as simple instructions as possible and as few words as possible. How can you mess that up?
I think just her ego. Apurva has hurt her ego for some reason because she told Apurva sat with her and said, okay, give
Yeah,
me your,
yeah,
let me do this for you. It
yeah,
is hard. It is not me. This.
yeah,
It's like, think about it. I wouldn't do
yeah,
this to my game because then I wouldn't win. Why would I
yeah.
do this to my own game? Like, no, because you told Jannat that if I go, then it is harsh, and that is part of your super spectacular scheming strategy. The
I just
worst,
want her.
the
That's the
worst
worst. Like she's the
overthinking.
most
Yeah,
irritating of the. I don't know. She's the most irritating of the innocents right now. She
yeah.
is. She
Agreed.
brings
I mean, I will not agree actually. I feel like Sudhanshu is,
more irritating.
yes, because that's just bringing me, I'm sorry, to my last highlight. It's a very off center. Elnaaz told Sudhanshu,
Yeah.
do you suspect Purav?
Yeah.
There was a conversation about it.
Yeah.
She planted it.
Yeah.
And it's not like Pura. How can Sudhanshu not remember this conversation? Because right after that, Elnaaz was declared a traitor and thrown out. Why will a traitor say Purav so definitively when Elnaaz has never brought a name to Sudhanshu
Yeah.
ever before? I thought she served it on a platter. I thought it was a great move by Elnaaz.
It's a great
It was
point. Yeah.
perfectly timed. And she was like, Anshula might not be the only person. Anshula might not even remain. Let me tell more people about Purav.
That's
She told
true.
Sufi, she told Anshula, and she told Sudhanshu. Those two are gone. And Sudhanshu has just poof,
Yeah. Forgotten it.
forgotten.
You're absolutely right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like that makes Sudhanshu a really bad
Bad.
innocent.
Yes.
And that is why it is a highlight. And I feel like he is doing worse than Jasmine.
Jasmine. My God.
Because how is that A? How is that even
You
possible?
make a very
But B,
convincing argument.
she put it on a platter for you, my friend. It was direct from the traitor's mouth. It was a direct clue rather than a second, like कहीं पे भी आप मान लो कि अपूर्वा ब्लफ कर रही है जैस्मिन को क्योंकि वो भी गेम में है, एलनाज तो
Yeah.
गेम में नहीं है और वो टेटर डिक्लेयर होके निकली है गेम से. What else are you waiting for? Like taros? I don't know.
Janvi J is gone now.
जानवी
What
जी is gone.
tarot?
Taro भी नहीं मिलेगा.
Tarot bhi nahi milega. No, he's forgotten. He's chilling. He's drinking his drinks.
What are you doing, my friend?
He is, naming some names who are random. I don't know what he's doing. He's a useless fake. But I still feel like Jasmine is worse because she's loud and she makes the wrong point.
I'm
It's just,
sorry. I don't think I can
and
agree
then
with
she
you.
keeps saying how stupid she is. And then I'm just like, if you are this
मैं तो
stupid,
dumb
then
हूँ.
shut up. मैं तो डम हूँ तो फिर चुप रहे यार. तू डम है तो क्यों इतना
No,
बोल रही है?
I will fight you on this. I think Sudhanshu is the worst innocent because how can he forget, man?
That's fair.
Unless he's
Yeah.
just super clever. And the next episode it comes out कि मुझे पता था पूरव था और मैं उसको लास्ट में एलिमिनेट करना चाह रहा था. But
Please. We have
that's not gonna
seen
happen.
no indications of this. Okay. No, this is not true. So, although if Purav actually gets caught, I'm sure he'll be like, "Oh, मुझे पता था कि Purav ही है," and all that. I'm sure he'll try to take credit for it, but
He had a
yeah,
few ageist remarks about
let's
Purav in
let's.
the past.
Oh my God,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, both of them are equally irritating, I guess. It's always some of the irritating faith, like the innocents always make it to the
Yeah.
end. So, let's see what happens. I think my last highlight is actually Elnaaz only. So we'll continue with Elnaaz. But
Yeah. Yeah.
my highlight is Elnaaz kind of messing up her own game.
Yes.
What was she doing? Why did she take that? Why did she do that to Urfi? It's not even somebody who she could have, like a Sudhanshu or someone that would not have, who would have probably managed to turn it around on her. Like, he did try to defend her for that move that she did made. But Urfi, who's the most volatile of the innocents, like to deceive her like this and then take the money and put a target on her own back, somebody who's that vocal in the house.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. It's stupid. Just like at this point where you are like 2 inches from being found, why would you put a target on your back
Mm,
by
I don't
the
agree with you.
loudest?
No, I
Not
don't agree with you.
really.
I think it's the smartest thing she did. She played
What?
Ulfi because the writing was on the wall. Elnaz was going. The moment I saw the first 5 minutes of the episode, I thought of you, your prediction कि Elnaz जा रही है, and my
Yeah.
heart said, I feel like I knew Elnaz was going to go, but I felt like I wanted her to stay, and that's why I was trying to
Yeah.
side with her or whatever. But this was her last ditch attempt. She had no vote bank. It was clear to her she's going. She's like, I might as well leave with 10 lakh rupees because this is totally not worth it. Purav is not playing on my team. वो मुझसे बात ही
She
नहीं
could have
करता.
stayed
And
for
in her
another
defense,
episode.
नहीं यार, Purav was not talking to her. That breakfast scene where she's like, चलो we are alone, थोड़ा बात करते हैं. And he's like, मुझे बात नहीं करनी. हाँ, यहाँ कैसे बात कर सकते हैं? And I'm like, you idiot. This is your
Yeah.
teammate. How are you doing this to her? So she knew he had checked out. She knew he was voting for her. She knew that she was up on the choco block. She did well to defend herself. She had put in everything she could. But I'm so glad she took the 10 lakhs and went because I thought it was smart. Urfi hoti ya koi bhi hota. I think
I
I
think
don't
I
think she
wouldn't have
thought.
taken it like that. I think I would have said it upfront that I want to take the 10 lakhs. I feel like where she deceived Urfi is where she faltered. It's not her decision to take the 10 lakhs or to play the team game or whatever. It's not that. My problem is, I see strategically it makes sense. I agree with it strategically, but at the moment you have this aura, or you have this reputation of not knowing anything that's happening, not being strategic, being like this flutter bus, and you don't know कि ये हिंदी चल रहा है कि इंग्लिश चल रहा है कि क्या, मतलब हाँ,
Huh?
so you have this reputation, right? So suddenly playing a very strategic move with somebody who is loud and will tell everybody about it is I think, like, put that last nail on her coffin. I feel like there was still some moves that she could have played. Like,
Yeah,
eventually, obviously, they would have turned on each other. I'm not saying she wouldn't have
uh,
gone. I only
yeah.
predicted that she would have gone.
You did.
But I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe you are looking at it as like she knew that the writing was on the wall.
She
I'm kind of
knew.
looking at it as like maybe she had enough
Buy for more
jobs
time.
to, because look at the reaction that she got, right? Everybody was just shocked, and then they clapped for her. I have never seen this happen before. I have never seen a group of innocents
Clap for
in
a
a game of
traitor
traitors
right
clap
there.
for a traitor. Have you seen this? I have never seen
No,
this
it
in
was
any game in the
top tier.
world.
It was top tier.
This is where I was like, okay, I'm here for these people. I know they are chaos, but I admire the fact that they can recognize game, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. So I'll tell you where I disagreed with you, right?
Yeah.
And because it was Urfi, she had to do it like that. I thought she did a really smart move by saying, "Chalo fir shield pe chalte hain." Actually, Urfi said at the round table, "तुम तो इतनी clear थी steps के game पे, वो बिल्कुल clear, वो अंदर से clear होगी." उसने बहुत confused when we were at the steps. So when she reached the steps, she like make, and then Urfi is like, "Shield आपको murder से बचाएगा, राउंड टेबल से नहीं बचाएगा."
Yeah,
तो शी लाइक, तो
yeah.
ठीक है, मर्डर तो शील्ड पे चलते हैं. एंड शी सेड, हाँ, बट आप तो मर्डर हो ही रहे. She
Yeah.
used that in her head and said whatever, and then she said, okay, shield. So she was not clear to Urfi. I'm pretty sure she was clear in her head because the
Of
shield came
course.
after the 10 lakhs for the
Yeah,
individual.
yeah, yeah.
If she had told Urfi, like Sufi did, that she will go for the 10 lakhs, it would have been a legitimate fight, and uh, Elnaaz would not have a 100% chance of winning the 10 lakhs. She needed to ensure that if she goes for the 10 lakhs, she gets the 10 lakhs. Urfi is not going to back down. If it was probably
Mm,
somebody else, like an Anshula, maybe Elnaaz could have expected someone to back down and say, hey, I'm going for the 10 lakhs क्योंकि मेरे को अपने लिए भी game खेलना है. With Urfi, telling her would not have helped Elnaaz in any way. Elnaaz was
yeah.
safest in telling Urfi because Urfi is chaos.
I feel like both arguments have merit here because obviously because it's a social game, you can't predict how somebody plays, so
What
you
could
can
have
argue
been?
from both sides, because yeah, you make sense. I mean, that was the way to play Urfi. Perfectly agree. I agree with that. I just think that that also doomed her. So, you know I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be anything at this point.
But again, Elnaaz played so well. I think
Yeah.
her performance at the round table was brilliant. Again, she brought the spotlight on Purav.
Yeah, she
And
did.
Purav did not defend well. He's like, "तुम मुझे एक example दे दे, तूने एक नाम बता दे." He still didn't give.
No.
And I don't know what it was that turned Apurva in favor of Purav. I still don't know what it was because till that moment, Apurva
Yeah.
was not convinced by Purav's explanation. And
Yeah.
if at that time when Elnaaz became traitor, I thought it would be clear to Apurva, and it was a slam dunk move that this was
Yeah.
traitor on traitor action, that Elnaaz took Purav down, and Apurva would have clocked it, as would have Sufi and Anshula, because they were already looking at Purav.
Yeah, I'd put a, I don't know. He's been forgotten. So let's see how it plays out in the last
Like, a
episode.
cat has 9 lives, Purav has like 49 lives.
You
This is
have to have some
ridiculous.
luck. Yeah, you have to have
Yeah.
some luck to win this game. You have to. It's not straight up like you can't game it really. But yeah, I think let's talk about, let's move from the highlights. We've covered most of the good stuff that happened. Let's talk about what you could have done differently here.
Okay. Again, I've thought about it a lot. I would have blackmailed Nikita
Okay.
so that it would keep quiet that there are only two traitors. That information came out.
Yeah.
No one would have ever told. And it would have been easy for him to put her on a platter. If she gets out, she gets out. If she stays, she stays. Pura would have easily been able to, I would imagine, manipulate her for his gain as traitor. I also had a left of center thought where I was like, I would want Anshula to be blackmailed, but I think it was way against Purav's ego, and it played out exactly like that. He wanted his bhai
Yeah.
and wanted to
No,
play.
I also think that he is a while he is all bluster, he is a safe he wants to be like he's a safe player.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to, that what you said before, he doesn't want to talk strategy where anybody could hear them. He doesn't want to talk strategy in the house at all, because he is scared, and he wants to be on the safest possible. That's why he only made that he did made no efforts for the first like
Task. Yeah.
traitor task,
Yeah.
and this one he just had to, so he did. Otherwise he would not have moved an inch. Like, honestly, he
Yeah.
would have kept, like, his game is above everything. So he wanted that safety, I think, in the traitor star, that he wanted his bhai, and he wanted that little bit of safety. My Because Nikita, I don't know how she would have played the game, honestly. I get his perspective. I get wanting somebody safe to go to the
Yeah.
end with. My only thing here is that and he acts as a little bit of a Harsh would act as a little bit of like a shield for Purav as well, because I feel like a male traitor plus, like, I don't know, there was only
Everything he
one female
needs. Yeah.
traitor, but
Everything he needs. Yeah.
it's possible that the third traitor could also be a male traitor. So it's so
Yeah.
Harsh is a safe choice. Nikita, I don't know what Nikita would have done for Purav, really. So we'll see
What would
how
you
it
change?
plays out at the end. For me, I would have maybe murdered Urfi and not Jannat. I know that Jannat is a stronger strategic player, but I also feel like maybe they could have convinced the rest that Harsh would have never murdered Urfi. Like, because they could have diverted that attention from Harsh. So whatever that attention has gone to Apurva and Harsh could have just gone to Apurva. So, but to be honest with you, I was thinking of like what I would have done differently, and every way I gamed it, it could have changed something
Everything.
else.
Yeah.
So it's hard to
Yeah.
these people are unpredictable. You can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I think I would have just winged it if I was in
Yeah.
this
No,
house.
I had a thought. I did think about killing Urfi.
Yeah.
But Urfi's murder would directly incriminate Apurva, which is something that Purav refused to allow. Purav actually put his foot down
Mm,
because he was saying, पहले तो उसने कहा अपूर्वा को ही उड़ा देते हैं. He just said
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Because
he
Purav
said no.
made the smartest point at the beginning of the seventh episode, which was him telling Elnaaz, आप अपने दो vote bank बनाओ पहले तो.
Yeah.
And Purav created that for himself.
Yeah.
And in that, I feel he has stuck to his guns and refused, just not allowed Apurva to be put on any
Yeah.
sort of danger position now,
Yeah.
if he can avoid it, because it works for him. Because
If
Purav
she
will
survives,
because if
then
Apurva
it's
survives,
excellent
then
gameplay.
Purav
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
It is
Maybe. I
exactly,
don't
yeah.
know. She's not very naive, so she might suspect him at the end as well, but who knows? Let's see.
Yeah.
Um I think we can also get into predictions now
Predictions,
quickly.
yeah. So
Because
who's
we
staying, who's
don't
going?
I think Purab will win. I think I think if Apurva goes and Harsh and Purav stay, Purav can throw Harsh under the bus. And like, I
I'm
don't
saying
think
in
Harsh
a
is figuring out how to
get out
game
of
this
this.
traitor thing. It's very hard for people to come into it this late and figure out ki kaise karna hai ye. It's very different from somebody who's been sitting around from the start.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. Agreed.
I think Purav has a great shot at this point of winning the game. What do you
So
think?
at the end of this round table,
Yeah.
who do you think goes? Who's banished in this round table?
That's I see. If Urfi has voted for Harsh, then isn't it a tie?
Exactly. So tell me who goes.
I think Apurva goes.
I also think Apurva goes. I feel like Urfi has not voted for Harsh. Urfi would have voted for Apurva.
Apurva. Even though she thinks that he's not a traitor, she would have
Yes.
voted for
वो
Apurva. Because
बोला
I
ना
think
उसने कि
so.
मेरे को लग रहा है कि
Yeah.
मैं
कि
इन्फ्लुएंस
तुम
करती हूँ
बोल
बट
रही
मैं
थी तो
इन्फ्लुएंस
हाँ.
हो जाती हूँ और
Yeah.
इसी वजह से मैं वोट करती हूँ अपूर्वा
Yeah.
को is what's going to come up and
Yeah.
Apurva will
Yeah.
be gone.
And Apurva made that, like, they showed that face. I don't know. I mean, that could be an edit, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think that she would have not at the end voted for Harsh. So the Love Island is very strong within her.
100%. And that is what makes me think that with Apurva gone, Purav has nobody really backing him because
Hmm.
he put in all his
You think
energy
Harsh
in
will win?
Apurva.
I was
No, I
saying
think the
Harsh will
innocents will
win.
win.
Really? You still
Yeah,
think Innocence will win?
yeah.
I still
Because
think
Harsh
Traitors
doesn't
will
stand.
win.
Because see, once Abhi Apurva will go,
Hmm.
then Harsh will be thrown out. Then they will all gang up against Purav, and that's how the innocents will win. Because you are absolutely right in saying Harsh can. There is no coming back from this.
The thing is that if they have one more murder, right? Or they don't.
No, final four हो जाएगा ना फिर. Apurva is
फाइनल
gone. Once
7 है ना?
Apurva
कितने
goes,
हैं? 6 7 है. 6 है. अपूर्वा, सुधांशु, उर्फी, जासमिन, पूरव, हर्ष. 6 है.
Sudhanshu. हाँ,
हाँ तो आई काउंटेड सुधांशु. 6 है.
okay, chair.
Did I miss someone?
No, that's it.
No, that's it. So
There's, yeah,
there's
six of
6
them.
of them. So
Yeah.
and out of which 2 are traitors. So
So
one
Apurva
person.
will go.
एक बैनिशमेंट फिर से होगा. एक एक राउंड टेबल, वो तो
एक
लास्ट राउंड
banishment
टेबल
तो हो
होता है
रहा
ना.
है.
एक
हाँ,
राउंड
तो
टेबल होता है
अभी
लास्ट
अपूर्वा
में.
जाएगी, then Urfi will lose her mind.
And
नहीं मुझे तो
Apurva. So
पता
that's
था.
7. 7.
हाँ,
Sorry. Apurva. So that's 7. So one Apurva will go, then it'll be left with 6. And then there might
one
be a
banishment will
murder.
happen. Banishment will
No.
happen.
Murder will
Harsh will
happen
go
tonight. After the banishment. After this banishment. There will
after
be a
this
murder.
banishment. Yes.
So if they murder Urfi, then they have a good shot of winning. Because the other threes are dum dums.
Dum dums. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I feel like they will clock it.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
hoping they
We'll
will
see.
clock it. I don't
We'll
want
see.
Purav
So
to
far,
win.
we have gamed this. So far, we have said that we said Elnaaz will go. Pura will recruit Harsh. I think, and my reasoning previously was that Harsh will take it. Now I'm not so sure, having seen him play, and Pura has
Yeah.
corrected his game a little bit. So now I'm not so sure. I thought Harsh would throw Pura under the bus, but if Harsh survives, the Kalesh
That'll
in
be
the Traitors
fun.
Tower will
Yeah.
be
Next level.
fun to watch.
Okay, so final predictions. I feel that the innocents are winning. Prerna feels that the traitors are winning. So it's your turn to tell us who's going to win this season of Traitors India season 1. Put your comments below and let us know your crazy predictions.
Yes.
Definitely hit the like button, subscribe, and put in your comments. Show the love so we can do more of this.
Yeah, and we have a really exciting episode planned for the finale. We're going to watch it together. We're going to pod immediately, which we haven't done so far. Right after the finale, we don't want to spoil, we don't want anything to be spoiled for us. We will do all the spoiling for you for when you're ready to listen to us. So come back, check us out right when the finale airs. We'll be in your inboxes soon. And yeah, stay with us for this amazing journey that we've been on.
Yeah, and have a good
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Bye.